Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people walk into the same room, same group, same environment. One of them is left alone. No one interrupts them. No one jokes at their expense. No one pushes their boundaries. The other gets tested constantly. They're talked over, plans get canceled last minute, small comments land a little sharper. And here's the confusing part. The first person doesn't look louder. They're not aggressive. They're not trying to dominate anyone. They just exist. So what's really happening here? Today, we're not talking about confidence tips. We're not talking about standing taller or being more assertive. We're talking about why people test you in the first place and why they quietly stop when one signal changes. Part 1. It's not disrespect, it's testing. Most people experience these moments and immediately label them as disrespect. They assume someone is rude or selfish or intentionally trying to dominate. But psychologically, that interpretation misses what's really happening. In most social environments, people don't start with respect or disrespect. They start with testing. Testing is how the brain gathers information before deciding how to engage. It's not personal, it's procedural. People test how much space they can take, how much resistance exists, how much emotional movement they can cause. And until the system gets a clear signal, it keeps testing by default. That's why these situations feel repetitive. They're not escalating because someone dislikes you. They're repeating because nothing has told them to stop. Part 2. The one signal beneath everything. Under all forms of testing, there's one signal that quietly controls the entire dynamic. It's not how confident you sound. It's not how intelligent you appear. And it's not how likable you are. It's the combination of emotional access and psychological cost. When people feel they can reach you easily, emotionally, mentally, or socially, and when doing so costs them almost nothing, testing feels safe. They interrupt because there's no friction. They push boundaries because there's no consequence. They question you because nothing pushes back. Not aggressively, not consciously, just automatically. As long as the signal stays the same, the behavior stays the same. Part 3. How testing shows up in real life. Testing rarely announces itself. It doesn't arrive as open conflict. It shows up in small, easily dismissed moments. Someone talks over you and keeps going. A commitment is broken without explanation. A joke lands slightly sharper than necessary, then gets brushed off. Individually, these moments seem insignificant, but psychologically, they serve a purpose. They measure how quickly you react, how much discomfort you tolerate, how far the line can move next time. When nothing interrupts the pattern, the system records it as permission. Not approval, permission. And permission keeps the door open. Part 4. Why big reactions keep testing alive. When people feel tested, the instinct is to react, to explain why something was inappropriate, to defend intentions, to justify why the treatment felt wrong. That instinct makes sense emotionally, but socially, it sends the wrong signal. Strong emotional reactions confirm access. They tell the other person, this affects you, this moves you, this reaches inside. And impact creates leverage. The more visible the reaction, the clearer the confirmation that testing works. This doesn't mean you should suppress emotions. It means emotional visibility has social consequences. When reactions shrink, access shrinks with them. Part 5. When availability becomes permission. Availability is often mistaken for kindness, but psychologically, unlimited availability communicates something else. It communicates that your time has no boundary. When responses are instant, when plans are always flexible, when requests are always accommodated, people don't interpret that as generosity. They interpret it as low cost. Cost determines value. Time that feels protected creates hesitation. Time that feels endless invites consumption. This isn't about ignoring people. It's about not structuring your life around constant access. When availability becomes measured, testing slows down naturally. The quiet shift.
removing the signal. Here's where the real change happens. Not through confrontation, not through correction, and not through performance. The shift happens when the signal disappears, when emotional reactions become contained, when availability becomes intentional, when explanations stop arriving on demand. Nothing dramatic changes, but the environment recalibrates. People become unsure how far to push. Uncertainty introduces caution. Caution ends testing. Not because you asserted power, but because access is no longer obvious. Part 7. What changes without confrontation? When the signal changes, the effects are subtle but consistent. People interrupt less frequently. They phrase requests more carefully. They hesitate before crossing lines they once ignored, not because they fear you, but because they can't map you as easily anymore.
Testing relies on predictability. When predictability disappears, behavior adjusts, and the adjustment happens quietly, without conflict, without force, without explanation. This isn't about becoming colder, and it's not about controlling others. It's about clarity. People don't stop testing because you fight harder. They stop when they no longer sense access. Change the signal, and the behavior around you recalibrates on its own. No confrontation required. If this changed how you see certain interactions, let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in the psychology behind these quiet shifts, how small signals shape how people treat you, consider subscribing. We explore this kind of human behavior here, calmly and without judgment.